Echoes reverberate after Donald Trump turned off the tap of the US Agency for International Development, USAID. The case involved funding for media and NGOs around the world, including Poland. One of its beneficiaries was the Tour de Constitution project, in which a group of judges toured the country allegedly promoting the idea of human dignity. But now, even more recent facts have come to life. According to reports by a former State Department official in Donald Trump's administration, Mike Benz, the National Endowment for Democracy's operational arm, USAID, allegedly pressurized Donald Tusk's government to arrest law and justice politicians.
My organization, Foundation for Freedom.
A former State Department official in Donald Trump's administration and director of the Freedom Online Foundation has published excerpts from a Journal of Democracy article urging Donald Tusk to arrest law and justice politicians. Important, USAID's partner and operations arm, the National Endowment for Democracy, NED, has been specifically demanding Donald Tusk's government in Poland must find ways to arrest high-ranking members of the Law and Justice Party in order to stamp out populism. They wrote this in Tusk's first month in office. The NED is the operational arm of the US Agency for International Development, which is the publisher of the Journal of Democracy. And here are further excerpts from that publication. Poland's new government must therefore do more than just return to liberal democracy to ensure that populism does not return in the next election. The new government should therefore focus attention on whether and how suspected criminals can be punished. There are a number of cases that should be tried immediately. These include the 2015 appointment of judges to the Constitutional Tribunal in contravention of the law, the attempt in 2020 to arrange a supposedly unconstitutional presidential election by mail-in voting during the pandemic, and the 2023 visa scandal. Naturally, the leader of the Law and Justice Party, Jarosław Kaczyński, should be held responsible, but legally proving allegations against him will likely be difficult. These suggestions, which were a type of instruction, prove the criminal nature of the activities of both USAID against the opposition in Poland and its subcontractors. The suggestions to criminalize by force, to find hacks on the Polish opposition and personally on its leader, Jarosław Kaczyński, is evidence that were it not for Donald Trump's victory, Poland would really be in great danger. But the Agency for International Development and the National Endowment for Democracy did not always look like this.
National Endowment.
The NED, or National Endowment for Democracy, was established back when Ronald Reagan was still in office, as a non-governmental, but as political and party-backed as possible, both major tools in the US fight for democracy, that is, to fight against communism. However, the National Endowment for Democracy has changed its original purpose. It has transformed itself into a strictly left-wing organization and does not so much fight communism as it supports communism in its new form, though neo-Marxism, and supports it with the money it gets from the USAID. Let's recall, the US Agency for International Development supports initiatives around the world with the goal of developing democracy. However, as we see under the Joe Biden administration and the Democrats, the funds went to something else. It has turned into such an ideological arm. As we hear, these most absurd ideas are the funding of the homosexual squirrel study in Zimbabwe, and in Poland, the election lighthouse judges the media. Among the projects sponsored with money from the US Agency for International Development was the Tour de Constitution, on which judges traveled around the country promoting the idea of human dignity. The liberal left beauties can talk wonderfully about democratic values, about the rule of law, but first of all, subsequent information about the activities of USAID, as well as our helpers in Poland, those in togas or with a pen, working in NGOs and many other places, show the darkness of these initiatives.
My fellow Americans today,
as you can see, left liberal politicians who talk a lot about respect, tolerance, the rule of law and democracy, when they take power, do everything to eliminate those who don't think like them, regardless of the country.